the next most obvious, most frequent kind of students that we get again are those who are somewhere in their journey from either start or even after their journey of CA. So I'll try and make it as simple as possible. CA has 3 different levels, which is the foundation, the IPCC, and the final CA. Now, if a student has just completed his foundation level, he gets no exemptions in ACCA. If a student has completed his IPCC exams in ACCA, out of 13 papers, he gets 5 exemptions. And if he's completed his final CA, which means he's a qualified CA, out of 13, this CA gets 9 exemptions in ACCA. So quickly to summarize again, if you're a foundation student, you get 0 exemptions. If you're an IPCC student completed, you get 5 exemptions. And if you're a final CA student, or rather final CA or a qualified chartered accountant, you will get 9 exemptions. This is step number 1. Now with CA, there are a few complications which I'm going to explain. The CA foundation is simple, no exemptions, let's remove that. Let's come to IPCC. Now, IPCC, if you've completed IPCC, you get 5 exemptions, but if you've also completed your BCOM along with it, you get an additional exemption. So you get 6 exemptions if you've completed IPCC plus BCOM. Second, IPCC has 2 groups, right? Group 1, Group 2. Now, this is all assuming you've already completed your BCOM. If you've completed your BCOM, you know you get 4 exemptions. Now, each group of IPCC that you clear, Group 1 has tax in it, Group 2 has audit in it. If you have cleared, let's say, only Group 1, only tax, then in ACCA, along with the 4 exemptions of BCOM, you also get this tax exemption, not the audit one. Okay. If you've only completed Group 2, you get the 4 exemptions of BCOM plus the audit exemption. And if you've completed both, like I already told you, you get both of these plus those other 4 of BCOM, which is a total of 6. And when I say completed, guys, when I say completed Group 1 of, right, which has tax in it, I mean to say even if you've not actually passed Group 1, but you've secured 40 plus in tax, which means you've cleared the tax paper as per ICAI, you will get a tax exemption for ACCA. Similarly for audit, you might have not cleared Group 2, but if you've secured 40 plus in Group 2, you will be entitled to the exemption in ACCA. So that is the more complicated part about IPCC. If you've not cleared full IPCC, and you've only cleared partial of it, you can still be entitled to the corresponding exemptions between CA and ACCA. I hope that is relatively clear to most of it. So now if you've understood the advantage of having completed IPCC either fully or partially and then jumping into ACCA, you'll understand that exemptions is the sort of the key reason people jump from IPCC to ACCA. Now, I'm going to give you 2 scenarios. Imagine you've completed your IPCC, you've cleared both the groups and you've started your articleship. During your articleship, which will stretch for around 2.5 to 3 years, you will have the ability to claim an overall, if you remember, I said 6 exemptions with IPCC plus BCOM. If in ACCA, if you claim 6 exemptions, you only have 7 papers pending. 7 papers along with your articleship in 2 years is really manageable for various reasons. Number 1, a lot of your IPCC syllabus will overlap with ACCA. So studying for ACCA becomes slightly easier. Plus what you study in ACCA at the final level before you appear for final CA, a lot of ACCA syllabus will also overlap with your final CA, which will in turn make it easy for clearing final CA. You're getting 2 qualifications in the time of 1. And most sort of practical reasoning why people take up ACCA after the IPCC is, if you've completed your IPCC, you know that after articleship you have to appear for final CA, which is incredibly difficult. You have your goals to clear it, absolutely true, and you should. But in the meantime, if you finished ACCA and you become an ACCA member, you know at least 1 qualification is secured. You will start working almost at the same level as that of a CA, and then you can appear for final CA. So even if you take a couple of extra attempts, your entire career is not halted because you've completed ACCA in the middle. So we have a lot of students who decide, okay, fine, after IPCC, I want to finish my 7 papers of ACCA in my articleship. And it's genuinely manageable to finish all 7 papers in 1 to 1.5 years. So your articleship starts, you study for 1.5 years, and you still have time after that to study for your final CA, go for final CA classes and things like that. It's a very convenient and more importantly, achievable target if you say after IPCC I will start and finish ACCA. Now, what happens if you've not completed IPCC and you've just cleared probably one group of the other, and it's been a couple of attempts. We get a lot of students who want to leave IPCC, but they don't want to leave finance and accounting. They don't want to leave CA. So for them, shifting to ACCA again is very simple, because they said, okay, I tried CA, I like the subjects, but I can't clear the exams. I need to come here. Fine. You get certain exemptions, and clearing ACCA automatically is quicker, because as you see in other videos that we have, right? We have videos in which we've explained ACCA in depth, in which we've compared ACCA to other finance and accounting qualifications like CFA and CPA. In all those, you will see that the primary advantage of ACCA is the time that it takes to complete. Because of the frequency of the exam and the flexibility, you can complete exams really, really quickly. So if an IPCC student is struggling, he can come into ACCA, claim the exemptions that IPCC and BCOM allows him, and then basically finish his entire ACCA in a relatively short period of time. Clear IPCC, or you're in the middle and struggling, shifting to ACCA, we've had those kind of students, and they're genuinely thriving because they took a decision which is helping them reduce their effort, to reduce their burden of clearing CA ASAP. So now that we've given an in-depth understanding of what IPCC students, how they get an advantage, let's come to the final level of CA. First, as usual, let's assume you've cleared CA, you're a qualified chartered accountant, and you want to study for whether you want an additional qualification on your CV, whether your plan is to now go overseas, whether you feel that your company wants you to study ACCA, various reasons why current qualified CAs are studying ACCA. Advantages, like I told you, when you study ACCA, you get 9 exemptions out of 13. Only give 4 papers, it takes you barely 6 months, and you are done. That is advantage. That is basically what happens if you're qualified. But what happens if you've not qualified and you've only, like IPCC, only cleared one of the groups of final CA? Simple. Remember, final CA over and above IPCC plus BCOM, it only provides you 3 additional exemptions in ACCA. Remember, there are 6 exemptions if you've completed IPCC plus BCOM, and you get 9 if you're a CA, which means there are only 3 papers, paper 7, 8, and 9 additional exemptions which you get in your final CA. So for these 3 papers, it again depends simply on the group. If you've cleared your group 1 of final CA, you get 2 out of these 3 exemptions, which are essentially financial reporting and financial management, because group 1 has both these papers. If you've only cleared group 2, you get the costing exemption corresponding to ACCA. So group 1 cleared 2 papers, group 2 cleared only 1 paper additional, right? Like I said, even in IPCC, if in group 2 in group 1 of final CA, if you've not cleared all the papers, but in only your financial reporting and financial management, you get 40 plus, you still get the corresponding exemptions in ACCA. Similarly for group 2, if you've not cleared it, but you've cleared costing with 40 plus, you will get the corresponding exemptions in ACCA. So again, while final CA, you have the ability to jump into ACCA and manage starting at a relatively higher speed.